Welcome everybody to this webinar on the 13th of July 2020 on the topic of deep healing and transformation. And I just told Hanlin before we started, I'm so happy with our topic. I love it. And I'm happy to have people who are interested in this topic. I'm very happy that you're coming. A party is much more fun when people come than when nobody comes. So for me, this is a kind of party. Celebration of life, exploring. So I'm very excited actually. In a good way, in a relaxed way. And I don't know, I have no idea what's going to happen these 3 hours. We shall find out. People may join and leave and so on. So that's okay, you can leave and come back. And of course, the most benefit is if you stay here focused during this time. And also if you avoid sending messages and doing other things, that's a recommendation. And another recommendation is to stay connected with your breath and sense your body throughout these 3 hours. And you will forget that, but you can remember it again. So keep returning, sensing the body. Go from here and down, down here, under here, down. Sense the body. Sense the breath. Just move into the body again and again. This is my suggestion. And I actually invite all of us to start like that, a little meditation. So just make a comfortable position, make sure you're undistracted, put away any notebooks or any smartphone extras or whatever you have. You can close your eyes if you want, or you can keep them open. But start listening to the sounds in your environment. Pay attention to sounds, any sounds. And see if you can notice sounds without feeding those sounds into any thinking. Oh, that must be a bird. Maybe it's that kind of bird. Oh, my neighbor. Well, I wonder what she's doing. Don't give energy to those kinds of thoughts. Simply let the sounds come and go for a moment. Also my voice, like listening to the rain. Don't try to listen to me either. Just let sounds, including my voice, just like rain on the roof of your house, of your hut. Nice, clop, 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 drizzle. We are living in a sound universe. If you pay attention to the sounds, just feel how these sounds fill the space and maybe even caress you. Let the sounds wash through you, maybe like waves washing up a beach. And give your body permission to relax. Give your breath permission to relax. Sense the body now. Sense the physical sensations and just allow the body to come to relaxation. Slowly, slowly. Deeper relaxation. And allow the breath slowly, slowly by itself to come to peace, to relaxation. First of all, human beings, we are sensing beings. We sense things. We perceive sensations, sounds, smells, and taste, touch. And sights. Lose your mind and come to your senses. And then allow your eyes to open without losing this sensing. Like, don't stop sensing, continue sensing with open eyes. See if you can sense the body, see if you can be in this sound universe with open eyes. Is that possible for you? So this is a meditation that if we want to live in presence in life, we need to practice this meditation throughout the day, every day, until we die. Starting today, without stopping. Of course, we will forget, but this is the most important practice, to be living with embodied presence, to living from presence in life. And we don't need to set aside any extra time for this. You can do it at any moment, even for 10 seconds. Driving the car, walking, dishwashing, sitting on a bus. I invite you to make this your most important thing in life. Because what is more important than being at home in yourself and to be centered in yourself? Is there anything more important than that? Is making money more important? Is helping others more important? So this meditation we did, it's not very complicated. It's not very fancy. We think it's just a beginner's practice, maybe. It's not. It is the practice. Let's hear, how are you after this little meditation? If you can write on the chat, just one word. How are you now after this 10 minutes, 5 minutes of coming to your senses in this way? Relaxed, peace and calm. Calm, at home, more present, centered, vibrating, grounded. Home. anxious, peaceful I saw, softer, aware of tension and more something I can't read, and more present, alive, settling, open-eyed presence is it. Lulu, hello Lulu. Peace, peace. So I find it quite sleep, lite trött, calm. Thank you, everybody. So I find it fascinating that such a powerful practice, we ignore doing it. We ignore it. I ignore it. Most people ignore it. We want to read 1,000 books, listen to 1,000 talks. We want to try to solve every problem, fix everything, and do. And we ignore the most basic, most important thing. So I want to start this webinar with this point. Deep healing and transformation happens when we make this practice our number one practice. Without this kind of practice, any deep healing and transformation will not last, will not go deeper, will not continue. It will be very temporary. And when we work with deep healing and transformation, this kind of practice is the foundation. When we can do this, coming to our senses, which means dropping out of thinking mind, then we are in the moment. And deep healing and transformation happens when we meet what comes up in the moment. When we can stay in the experience of the moment, that's when deep healing and transformation happens. I had an amazing healing session myself today. One of the deepest healings I've had in years happened this morning. I was doing some inquiry work with a friend in the forest. And this incredible energy came, very challenging energy. But I was ready. I was so ready to meet this energy. It was a demon actually. It was an inner demon, beast. It takes a lot to be willing and ready to meet that. We have so many defenses. We don't want to meet the devil within, the demon within. I don't want, nobody wants. And we don't even know he's there or she's there. We don't know until we know. So I was obviously ready, and this energy came, and I just welcomed it. And I had the most amazing journey with it. Healing, so the principle is, feeling it is healing it. Very simple principle. And the other principle, which comes before that, I call showing up to what shows up. So this energy came in me. It's like, it started as a strong inner critic. And when I listened to this inner critic, I realized it's not just an inner critic, it's a very, very nasty version of it. It's more like an inner beast, like a killer critic. So nasty. And I entered the energy of that critic. I became that energy, and I became the monster, the devil, the demon. I became the demon. I was scaring all the birds in that forest for a while. But I was awake. I was completely awake. I was consciously entering this energy. I was so curious to enter and meet this energy consciously. I was ready. Showing up to what shows up with compassion and curiosity. First principle. Second principle, feeling it is healing it. I can't do anything to you. At the deep level, we cannot do anything to heal. We're talking about deep healing. There are different layers, levels of healing. Now we're talking about the deep layer of healing. At the deep layer of healing, healing happens if we are able to allow ourselves to feel what we have avoided feeling, maybe for our whole life. And we feel it with a witnessing presence inside the experience. Now that's not an easy task, because we want to run away and we want to fix it with our head, and we judge it, and oh, not that critic, fuck the critic, I'm tired of it, and blah, blah, blah. And I start arguing in my head, and I'm here and I'm not feeling anything, and I'm not healing it. You can think until you are on your deathbed and nothing will happen with your life. You can think about your life until you die and no transformation will happen at the deep level. Transformation does not happen through thinking. At the deep, I'm talking about the deepest layer now. There are other levels where we can think and analyze and see, but now I'm talking about the fundamental, the transformation, where we shift at the deep level inside. And it's not something we do once. It's something we do again and again and again and again and again in life. We are interested in this as a life path. And it's only for the courageous. If you want to enter the process and journey of deep healing and transformation, it's only for the courageous ones. It is not for everyone. Maybe 5% are ready and willing to go that journey. And because you're here, you're ready. That's why I'm so happy to meet people who are willing and ready. So that was my introduction, and I want to say one more thing as part of my introduction. At the deepest level of healing, I had this metaphor coming to me earlier today. If you think of the human being as a coconut, yeah? Think of yourself as a coconut. Now, we don't have a lot of coconuts in Europe, but you know what a coconut is. Actually, a coconut is one of the main killers in tropical countries, because they fall from a big height and they are hard, and when they hit your head, and they're heavy, and when they hit your head, they kill you. A lot of people die from coconuts. At least 1,000 more people die from coconut. 1,000 times more people die from coconuts than from sharks. You know, much more dangerous than sharks. Anyway, we are like a coconut. That's one metaphor. We are also hard. We're not easy to penetrate. But outside the hard part of a coconut, it's all this, it's a soft layer. Outside the soft layer is a little bit harder layer again. Inside the hard layer, there is the white stuff, I don't know how do you say it, cocoa, coconut meat, the coconut meat.
Pulp.
Pulp, coconut pulp. Inside there is the nectar, coconut milk. That is who we are in our essence. We are the nectar, sweet honey of delicious, pleasurable essence. We are the nectar. We are soft and yummy and pleasurable, nourishing. Our essence is this most amazing nectar. But we have this hard shell to protect it, and we have this pulp to protect it, and we have this other layer to protect it, and then we have an external layer to protect it. We are not easy to penetrate. We have built up these protections because when we were children, we were so open. We were these soft, fluffy, vulnerable, open, heartful beings. And we learned that the world is too dangerous to stay soft like that. So we made ourselves tough. It took some years to become tough. It took about 10 years to develop that toughness to manage in the world, to feel safe and more or less safe. And then we live like that. We live on the outer layers of the coconut and we forget we have this inner yumminess. And sometimes we get really hurt, like the coconut, maybe some bird starts knocking on it, making holes on it, and small worms start to dig into it. So the coconut looks a little bit damaged. After some years, we feel a bit damaged by life. And we think we can never be healed. We're too damaged, too hurt by love and violence and neglect and trauma and you name it. But the coconut milk within the center can never be damaged. But we have lost contact with this nectar. So we think we're eternally damaged and we can never be healed. The deepest healing, the point of this metaphor is we can work on healing the outer layers, but the deepest healing is to discover that which was never damaged. To return home to our essence. Wow, I'm still open, vulnerable, sensitive, beautiful, I'm love, I'm everything. It was never damaged. That is the deepest healing. Returning home to that which cannot be damaged. So that's just to have some understanding. We can work on all these different levels, but the deepest healing happens when we enter the nectar which was never damaged in the first place. And sometimes we need to work on other levels before that level is accessible. That depends where we are in our life. Now, the last thing I want to say in this introduction is we have amazing help that we are not aware of. We have something which is constantly helping us. This helper is called the guidance of being. Being itself, whatever you want to call that, but there's like a force in the universe, in our soul, in being, which is constantly helping us to come home to the nectar. We are being helped, but we don't see this help. For instance, this helper will send me a person who really pisses me off. That's help. I need to be pissed off. I need to feel this anger. That's why the helper sent me this super annoying person. Nothing happens against you. Everything happens for you by the helper. You don't have to believe or agree what I say. I'm just sharing some principles I see at work. And then you can just at least keep open the possibility that it might be true. And then we'll find out by experimentation. I have seen this principle at work 10,000 times, so I'm very trusting in this principle. Okay, that was the theory, and now we want to go into practice. But before that, I would like to hear how it was for you and what's happening in you now after hearing this little talk. If you can write a word or a sentence on the chat. Where are you now after hearing this? It's just a little input into the field. Make sense, feel connected, go trusty, curious, curious, sorrow, gratitude for these teachings. I want to drink coconut water. You are the coconut water. You can't drink it. Opening up, vulnerable, it resonates with me. Trust and warmth in my aqua pulp. I keep forgetting that the help is there for me. Feeling it. Melting, trustful, inspired. Agreeing. Relaxing into trust. Trustful. Playfulness. A bit confused. Okay. So the approach of these webinars is not to give too much theory, because I can easily talk for too long, but to actually see the process in action, in reality, and to do that through coaching. So everybody who witnesses a coaching session, allow yourself to be touched, because when we do this kind of work, everybody's process is also our own process. So your healing can be through watching somebody else. If you stay in your sensing, just don't think too much, just feel through this process. That's my recommendation. So I think I'll leave it to Hanna to decide who's gonna have coaching now. You can decide for us.
Yes, okay. Antonia, are you there? Antonia?
Maybe she's not unmuting herself.
Yes, so if you're there, Antonia, I received your message and you can unmute yourself and say hello. Speak to Kåre.
I saw her. Can't hear you, Antonio. Antonio, are you there? Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Great. Sorry about that.
I'm just gonna find you. There you are.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Is it possible to leave the phone by itself so you don't have to hold it?
I had to move because I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, I could. Okay.
Is this okay?
It's
Or is it a bit
not,
dark?
yeah, because you get the light just behind your head, then you become a bit dark. If it's possible not to have the window behind you, then it's better.
Let's see here.
It's the window in the back which creates the problem.
Yeah. Maybe I can sit. Or somehow like this.
That's good.
Getting creative.
Okay. So, what would you like to look at?
First of all, the strong resistance to this, doing this right now.
And yet you chose it, huh? Your head is kind of down at the bottom of the picture, but it's okay. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. So there's some resistance, but the drive to do it was stronger than the resistance, right? Or else you wouldn't be here. I want to say something I find very useful that I didn't say in my introduction. We have the instincts, survival instinct, sexual instinct, social instinct. These instincts are very much about staying safe. So we don't want to have anything dangerous happening when we are in these instincts. So what makes us choose something dangerous like this you're doing now is a fourth instinct, which people don't talk about so much. And that's the enlightenment instinct, the awakening instinct. There's a drive in us to come back to the nectar. And this drive overrides the fear, the drive for growth, the drive for awakening. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we can make a choice that goes against our survival instinct. Because there's something deeper, a deeper motivation. It's a very strong motivation. And many people are not in touch with it. So they're only concerned about safety. But if you're only concerned about safety, there is not much growth. So that's good. The resistance is not a problem. It's there, so you embrace it. And you do it anyway. How do you feel now?
A little better. Yeah, a little more appreciative and accepting of this now.
Yeah. Okay. What's the topic you'd like to look at?
What I'd written, what I mentioned was, let's see. It was, I think, not wanting to be in the body and not wanting to look at certain aspects of the past.
They probably go together, these two. What is it about the body that makes you not want to be in the body?
What comes to me is fear and fear of judgment and pain. judgment of the pain itself.
So there's a feeling that in the body lives pain, like emotional pain.
And physical.
And physical pain. Are you struggling with some specific physical pain?
Yeah, quite a couple of things right now. Yeah.
Like what?
Tooth cavity, or several cavities that I just found out about, and a fractured toe, a hip that's hurting. It's a little list.
So the teeth and the toe, they can heal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a more temporary thing.
Yeah.
And the hip, is that something which has been with you for some time, or
Yeah.
like how long?
About 8 or 9 months now.
So you want to avoid physical pain.
I want to avoid looking at what it's showing me.
So it's not the physical pain itself so much. It's you have a sense there's something behind the physical pain which is scary for you.
Yeah.
And that's something emotional. Your video, okay, now you're back. So it's actually not about not wanting physical pain. It's about fear of some emotional pain. Yeah? So I invite you to embrace this fear. Let the fear be there. Say, like, be compassionate with the fear, accepting with the fear. It's natural to have this fear. Just embrace and include the fear, if you can. How is that?
Simple.
What happens when you embrace the fear?
I feel clear.
Where is the clarity? In your head or in the whole body?
Whole body.
Okay, so everything feels a bit more clear.
Yeah.
Okay. How's this clarity for you?
It feels open.
Open. Can you describe openness for me? How you experience it right now, openness?
Like there's weight being lifted off of me.
Okay, there's a weight being lifted off you. There was an out breath. So just notice these out breaths, like a release. Some tension is dropping off, right? You feel lighter, more open, more clear. Like the whole body is relaxing a bit more, right? How does the body, what happens in your body when it relaxes like this?
It feels softer. And more expansive.
Softer and more expansive. soft and expansive. Just notice this soft expansion. What's happening now?
I feel fear arising.
Can you embrace it? How would it be to open your eyes and connect with me a little bit with your eyes? How is that?
It's okay.
Is it supportive?
I think so.
How is it with the fear now?
Less.
Less. So notice that what we're doing is showing up to what shows up. We're not trying to fix anything. We're not trying to heal anything. We're not trying to dive into any difficult emotions. We're not trying to get anywhere or do anything. Nothing like this. Just meeting the moment. And what was here was fear. And by embracing what shows up, you expanded into a soft expansion. A relief. Weight dropped off. There was a release. So many things happened just from this one embrace. How is it to see that?
Good and challenging at the same time.
What's challenging about that?
Challenges the stories in my head.
Yes, exactly. Her mind doesn't like it. It's too simple. At some level, nothing needs to be healed. What's happening now?
That's very calming to me.
Yeah. We are not broken things. We are this open, soft, expanded nectar already. But this principle should not be used as a kind of ideology. If something comes up, we meet it and see where it takes us. Now, if you sense your body now, what do you notice?
Some lower back pain. And feeling like I need to move.
So let yourself move a bit. while sensing the body. What else do you notice in the body? Some lower back pain?
The word that comes to me is joy. Which is confusing.
Where do you feel that? Where do you feel that joy?
I don't know. It's like an overall kind of like
there's a joyfulness. Does that show up in the physical body in any way?
it feels like it's holding my spine up in a way.
Okay. So the quality of joy is holding your spine up in some way. Yeah, why not?
I don't know. Yeah.
So joy is one of the qualities of the nectar. Can you mute yourself, Mr. Chris? Kristen, can you mute yourself? What's happening now, Antonia?
Physically or
Well, whatever. Kristen, I think you're not muted. Okay, I have to do something. Kristen, can you mute yourself, please? How do I mute him? Kristen, I don't know how to mute him.
I'm trying.
Kristen, can you mute yourself?
I'm trying.
He succeeded. Okay. Yeah, so what's happening now?
a slight moment of relief because I felt the freedom to reorganize, get a pillow, set up differently.
How does your body feel now?
More joyous.
Joyous? How is it to be in your body right now?
It's relatively peaceful.
Is it okay to be in your body now?
It's okay.
It's okay. So the problem disappeared right now. I mean, the problem of not wanting to be in the body disappeared for now. Right now, you're enjoying being in your body.
Simultaneously, I feel there's a worry that I'm not actually fully in my body.
So if you forget about that idea for a moment, you know, it sounds a little bit to me like a spiritual ideal. I should be fully in my body in some specific way. So if you drop that for a moment and you just honor the way you are in your body right now, just honor that. How is that?
It's okay.
It's okay. So it's okay to be in the body the way you are in the body right now. It's okay.
Yeah.
Where do you feel the most relaxed and expanded in the body in this moment?
That's very hard to say. Maybe my left thigh.
Left thigh. Pay attention to your left thigh a little bit. Just notice how it feels. Can I suggest something? Yeah. As you sense your body now, include infinite space at the same time, both. The body is situated in infinite space. So just include both infinite space and body as an experiment. How is that?
And it's freeing.
It's freeing.
It helps me see that while I am at the center of my own experience, I'm also not the center.
Yes. Yes. So you can have both at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to choose. You can be both, space and body, simultaneously. And in a way, that is the mystery of human existence on the earth. It is a mysterious thing. What's happening now?
Acknowledging, feeling the simplicity of it, and at the same time the weight of it, or it's like there's a spiritual kind of grandeur to the sensation, but it's also very small and light.
All right. So there's a grandeur to it, and also something small and light. Something simple.
I'm happy about it.
More joy coming. Good. I think I'll leave you here.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear how it was for the others to witness this journey?
Sure.
Thank you, Antonia.
Thank you.
So can you write on the chat, how was it to witness? How was it for you, and how did you benefit from witnessing this journey? How did it impact you and what did you get out of it? Tears. Beautiful and moving. You took me with you to the lightness and grandeur. Thank you. from Roy. Tears, Lulu. Aliveness and presence from Leonard. Beautiful to see the release in your body, Maria. Re-experience space, Luisa. Raido, courage and trust. Can feel my space more easily, John. Expansion, Sarah. Beautiful, calm, moving, Malena. I related to the resistance and fear and then the spaciousness. Thank you, Simone. Lightness and wonder, Hanna. Very touching, amazing, very relieved. Gregor, I'm also fighting a lot against my body. Chip, surrender. In touch with truth and relief, Isa. Gentleness and kindness, Emil. Okay, so everybody benefited, Antonio, not only you. Thank you so much. Alicia, witnessing that truly less is more. Yeah, so let me say something about this way of exploring life. When we explore like this, we have no agenda. We don't try to reach a specific goal. I am just curious about meeting the person in the present moment. And I trust that this helper, the guiding spirit, is working for our well-being, for our inner healing and expansion. So I surrender to something bigger happening. My job is to stay open to the moment and trust in life and meet the moment with this curiosity and compassion without a goal. And this we can only do as a support person when we are coming from the heart and belly and not from the thinking mind. When I come from the thinking mind with a goal, then I will start using techniques. I will have my own agenda on behalf of the client. We could say I am playing God. But actually my role is very small as the coach. My role is just to be present, open, curious. And the healer is not me and not the other person. The healer is being itself. So trust and surrender is the name of the game. Trust, surrender, and presence. And also being playful about it. I don't take this kind of journey too seriously. It's a fun, exciting journey into the present moment. I get the luxury of meeting people like this. I enjoy it. I do it because I love it. I enjoy it. I don't do it to fix or heal. This is the paradox of deep healing. Deep healing happens when we don't have an agenda of healing. Healing through non-healing. It takes a while to understand the simplicity of this. A few years, mostly, normally. Because the mind always wants to fix and judge and has so many agendas and ideas and techniques and tools. And I feel the pressure to do something. I must be helpful. I have to prove something and I have to, be worth the money and satisfy people. And I have to avoid being rejected and look stupid and you name it. All of that has to go. So to be a support person in this way is a great meditation. It is my meditation practice. To show up, to let go of my agendas. I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. That's a good sentence for your life, actually. Try saying that inside yourself. I'm not here on the planet to prove anything to anybody, including myself. Everybody say that inside yourself to yourself, and just as an experiment. I'm not on this planet to prove anything to anybody, including myself. And notice how your body responds to that concept, that idea, that principle. How much of your life is wasted on trying to prove something to somebody? And if you look deeply into that pattern, you will find your mother and your father. Most probably. Even if they're dead, you're still trying to prove something to them. I mean, we're all doing that at some level. A lot of the time. I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. I'm here to show up with curiosity and see what happens. And trust in something bigger at work. So how did that mini sentence meditation work for you? Can you give me some feedback on the chat? It's not like you have to agree with this sentence. We're just tasting it and see the impact. Revealing, Antonia. Resting, Simone. A lot of trust showed up, Gregor. Big learning, expanding, very relaxing, freedom and fear, relaxed and joyful, life is more fun now, spot on, surrender and trust, creates curiosity. Also not here to change people's minds, empowering. Ease where there was tightness, joy, deeply deep and challenging. Deeply deep. Relaxing into wonder, present, grounding, lighter and freer, so true, and sometimes just so challenging. I felt chills. So when you notice you're trying to prove something to somebody, you can take this sentence and just taste it. Wait a minute, I'm not here to prove anything to anybody, and see what happens. Let's say you go on a date. That's a good practice arena. If you're trying to prove yourself to your date, normally you get in trouble with the date. Or even a job interview or any situation. Go to a job interview. I'm here to see if there's a match. If not, not. I can just be myself. Same on a date. I'm here to see if there's some mutual thing going on. If not, fine. Now, I've been a teacher like this for 20 years, and I tell you, this has been my path. It's not easy to be a teacher and find this place inside. So I've been tested 1,000 times because it's a very strong program we have to not fail. Avoid failure. Proving my value. Proving. Okay. What time is it now? It is time for a 10-minute break. That's what it is. Let's take a 10-minute break. I'll see you at 7:50. Okay? Resume. Good, I remembered. Okay. So before we continue, I just want to mention that this is our second membership meeting. I'm so happy with this new membership thing. We are now 75 members, and it's growing every month, especially the day before the webinar. And yeah, it's nice to have this channel to communicate. Both will meet again and again, since we have this once a month, so we can, we can get to know each other. We have a Facebook group. You can connect there. I'd like to send inspiration. Like today, I sent a podcast interview that I did last year with a secular Buddhist site. And sometimes I write blog posts for the members, and we'll see how it evolves. But I invite you to use the Facebook group to connect a bit also and share, so we can have a bit of a two-way exchange. I really feed on getting feedback. It helps me to be in the dance with you. Also now a season is starting of live workshops, so I have module 1 of the Zen Coaching training starting now in 10 days, 9 days at Ängsbacka, Sweden. And this one I will do again in January. If now is not a good time, you can come in January. And I'm also at the No Mind Conscious Camping Festival at Ängsbacka. I'll be at the Tantra Festival in Stockholm in November. And I'm also organizing a trauma healing week with Svagito in September, 5 days. He's the most amazing therapist I know. So if you're interested in trauma healing, that's the place to go. I organize it because I want to be there myself and learn from my master therapist, Svagito, September. You find it on the Zen Coaching website. I'm also going to do a 3-day family constellations workshop with him in Gothenburg in September. So that was a bit of information about things coming up. Now let's continue the healing journeys. And I would like to have a dialogue with Elinor, if you are still there and available. Are you?
Yes, I'm here.
Let's find you. There you are. Hello, Elinor.
Hello.
You've had one coaching earlier some time ago.
Yeah.
And you wrote in your text that your father has anxiety.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of disaster thinking, catastrophe thinking.
He only have disaster thinking.
Okay, so he's very caught in that.
Yeah.
And when you are there, you write a word which I don't know, handfallen. What is that in English?
Good question. My hands are tied. Like
okay, you
I
feel
can't.
you can't
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
And when you talk to him, it gets worse. You mean you feel worse, or he gets worse?
He gets worse because he's just talking about disasters, and the whole family knows that the house won't fall down on him any second. So I can't really communicate with him because it's not like he's not there, or he is there, but yeah, it's in a loop.
And you say you can't hold yourself in this situation. What do you mean by hold yourself?
Holding space for me or him or anyone. I just get
You
caught in the...
You lose space. You get caught in irritation and trying to fix him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to just stay calm and just be, but I can't manage.
Yeah.
And as I wrote, it just gets worse because I can't say anything because I'm not able to communicate at all in a way, because it's just
Is he
constantly.
living with somebody?
Yeah, my mother and father lives together, and the thing that I notice is that she gets very irritated as well, and because it's too much.
How long has this been going on like this?
He actually got an operation for cancer this Christmas, so before Christmas, and he got better, or he got like good results, and then after that something happened, and he just and we have a really old house that's a lot of problems with, and
Okay,
yeah.
so it started now during the last months after Christmas.
Like half a year.
Yeah, so it's been going on for half a year.
Yeah, and it's getting worse.
So he's basically having paranoia.
Yeah. He woke me up at 3 in the morning and said that we had to like run away from the house.
So paranoia is a mental disturbance, like a mental disease, okay? So number one, you have to recognize that he has now this mental disease.
Yeah.
Yeah? Basically, he's sick.
Yeah.
How is it when I say that?
I think I'm know that or like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you a psychiatrist by training?
No. I'm not.
So you're not trained in healing people from paranoia?
No.
No. So you can't do that. Just feel that. You cannot do that.
It's hard.
Yeah, I know, but that's the truth. You're trying the impossible. You have to surrender to the fact that you cannot heal him from paranoia. I had a girlfriend once who got paranoia. I had nothing I could do about it. Actually, I've met several people. I lived with a guy who got paranoia. There's nothing I could do about it. The only thing I could do is send him home to his parents and to psychiatric support. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But paranoia is like a mental disease. Yeah. And it's very intense. You can be there, that's fine, but you cannot, I mean, you're putting too much pressure on yourself if you think you're going to heal him.
Yeah, and I know that I get into the fixing.
That's why I'm saying this now. So how do you feel now? If you allow the sadness.
I don't want to. It's like it's no other choice, just to do nothing and making it worse. Or leaving him all alone. Or it just, yeah.
Those are not necessary conclusions, okay? Those are ideas.
Yeah.
But just recognize that you don't know how to heal him. You're making yourself too big. You are helpless here. Just admit your helplessness for a moment. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Just see if you can breathe a little bit. Take a few breaths into the belly. Feel your belly. And breathe. See, if you fight against your helplessness, you will suffer. If you accept your helplessness, then something can happen.
It feels like I see his brain like
Say it again.
getting toast. It's like I see, it feels like every second that he's in that state, it just gets worse.
Yes. Oh, remember to breathe now. Sense your body and breathe, okay? Sense your belly. Don't focus on your father now. Don't think about your father. Just sense your belly, okay? Forget about your father for a moment, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe look at me for a moment. Can you see me?
Yeah.
So just feel me here and breathe and sense your belly for a moment. How is that?
I feel a bit dizzy.
Yeah. So take your time. Just come back to this moment. Sense your belly, sense your chest and breath. Are you here?
Yeah.
Can you feel me? How do you feel with me?
Okay.
You feel supported?
Yeah.
So sense my support. I'm here as your support. Do you have a good friend who's supportive for you?
Yeah.
Imagine she's standing behind you or next to you, or he. She or he? So imagine he's here just standing there next to you or behind you. How does that feel?
It feels good.
Yeah. Feel the support. Now, I want to ask you something. Are you here?
Yeah.
Does your father have any other professional support in this situation? Psychologist, psychiatry?
He tried with, he went to the healthcare center to a therapist, but she couldn't really cope. And he went to a psychologist, and she said he's too down under to do anything to talk to, so she couldn't help him.
What about medicine?
Yeah, he's got a lot of medicine, but it just makes him feel trapped, not making.
Does he have any antipsychotic medicine or anything like that?
I don't really know exactly what it is, but he eats it like every third hour to calm him down.
Who gave him this medicine?
Some doctor.
But he hasn't been in contact with psychiatry.
No,
Psychiatry.
she said he had to get more medicine to be able to be.
No,
able
not
to-
psychologist, but a psychiatrist. You know, psychiatrists, they know, they are the experts on medicine for this kind of thing.
I don't really know. I know it's the doctor
Okay.
that orders the medicine. I don't really know. But he doesn't feel that it gives anything to talk to anyone. So he's just.
No, but you know, sometimes psychiatric medicine is good for a period of time. But then it's a psychiatrist, not a talking psychologist. Psychiatrists are experts on this kind of. I'm not an expert on it, but psychiatrists are experts on, and sometimes this is a kind of psychosis, kind of paranoia. And sometimes medicine can be very helpful for a short time. That's how I understand it. So that's something you could do. You could check out if there's anything like that kind of help you could get, you know, more psychiatric. You could do some research. This you could do. I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm just saying it's worth investigating, and you could maybe do something there. How does it feel when I say that?
Yeah, some part feels like it's hopeless because it's like getting help, but not getting help. Like we're calling the places to call for illness, and I don't really know where to find someone else. But
I didn't quite understand you now.
it's like it feels like we have called and talked to the people that should know what to do, but it doesn't feel like he gets the help he needs.
Have you talked to psychiatric institution?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did they say?
It feels like they just trusted the doctor with the medicine, and they just check in. But I don't know I don't really know exactly who they have contacted. So.
Okay. Well, if I were you, I would do some more research on that. That's a practical thing you can do.
Yeah.
But the main thing here is for you to find your center in this.
Sure.
How do you feel in this moment?
Just feel lost.
Yeah, you feel lost. Remember your friend again in the room. Can you feel him?
Yeah.
So feel him next to you. Where is he standing? Next to you? Behind you? Where?
Behind me.
Is it good if he holds his hands on your shoulders? So imagine he's standing behind you, holding his hands on your shoulders. And just feel the support of your friend. Can you receive it?
Yeah, it just feels like it hurts even more when I allow myself to feel what I'm feeling. Anyway.
Just feel the support for a moment. How is it to receive this support right now?
It feels nice.
Yeah. So this is a practice. When you feel completely lost, find some support like this. Any kind of support. Focus on your sources of support in your imagination or in reality. This is number one. How is it when I say that?
I feel a bit calmer.
Number 2, I believe that mental disturbance like this is something that we do subconsciously because we think we need it. So what I'm saying is, I think your father is choosing paranoia for a reason.
Yeah.
Not consciously, unconscious, subconsciously. There is something in him that wants paranoia. He wants to have it. It's a protection. It's a defense against something else inside of him. I believe paranoia works like that. Like everything in life. We do everything we do for a good reason. He's trying to protect himself against something inside himself that's threatening by externalizing the threat. I believe paranoia works like this. So maybe he needs paranoia now. Maybe it's something he needs right now, or he feels he needs it. How is it when I say that?
I don't know. It feels like it can't be true, but it feels sad that he needs that, or he needs to go through that.
You know, it's a bit paradoxical. It may be that we choose paranoia because we have a need to feel safe.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are many ways to explore this. But there is something in you that wants to save Papa. And that doesn't work. You have to respect his destiny. Yeah. He has his journey and you have your journey. To respect your father is to respect his journey, even if it's painful. Now, I think there's also a girl in you, little girl, a scared girl inside of you. Is that true? Why don't you say hello to the girl within and say, I'm here. I'm here. I think you have a terrified girl inside. So see if you can take care of her a little bit. Just by saying to her, I'm here. I am here. So she's not so alone.
I feel some anger as well.
Yeah. So
Like
there's like what?
I'm angry that he hasn't taking care about himself.
Yeah, but maybe that's the girl inside also is angry. Is the girl inside you angry? Yes. So say to your girl within, I understand that you're angry. I understand that you're afraid and angry. Can you say that to her?
Yeah.
How is that for her?
It's calming.
It's calming. She needs you here. Don't abandon her. You need to show up for her. What's the name of your friend? Do you want to say, or is it, you can call him anything. You don't have to say his name, but you can tell the girl that he is here with you. We have support from him also. Tell your girl that you also have this guy's support, this friend's support.
It actually feels nice that it's a guy.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
what
masculine
I feel.
energy.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
So tell the girl there is a masculine support here. How is that for her?
Feels safer.
Yeah. See, if you leave this girl alone, she will take over you and you will be terrified.
Yeah.
You will also be in some kind of paranoia.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
that's
doesn't
true.
help.
No, I know.
So you take care of her like this. How does that feel?
Yeah, feels good. Feels more whole.
Yeah. That's your job now. And don't spend more time with your father. Don't spend too much time with him. Just a little bit. Maybe short. Also, since it doesn't help him to talk about his fear. So just, some short.
I've been thinking about resources, like when trauma healing. If a person is in a paranoia, is there like...
Your job, Elinor.
But if I need to talk to him, I just have nothing to say.
Your job is to stay grounded. One thing you can say to him is not be your father for a moment. So I say, hello, father, it's Ella.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, but everything is going to hell. I'm sorry to do this to you.
What's going to hell?
Everything, this house and everything you're doing and the move, and it will never work.
Okay, so you feel that everything is going to hell.
Yeah, you don't understand. I see it everywhere and you don't understand, and I just want to tell you what's happening, and you don't listen to me at all.
And you feel I'm not listening to you at all. I don't understand.
Yeah,
you.
I'm trying to make you see what's happening and you don't see it. I'm just trying to help you. And I can't talk about it. I will just go and lay down.
Okay. It's okay. But I understand you. You really feel that everything is going bad. I understand it. And you want to help me. I can understand that.
I haven't tried that, but
Exactly.
I don't know what he would say.
Well, feel the impact on you.
Yeah, I told him once that I understand how he feels, and he asked if I really did, and he calmed down a bit, and then he started again.
Yes. See, that helps. See, it's the difference between empathy and agreement. See, you can give empathic understanding to paranoia. I hear you. You feel everything is going to hell. The house is falling down. I hear you. You really want to help me and you really want to be understood. It's important for you. I'm listening to you. I understand you. So you confirm them without agreeing. The tendency we have with people in paranoia is to try to convince them there is no danger. Does that work?
No.
It does not work. So that's one avenue. You just give him empathy in his reality. That's his reality. It's as real to him as I am to you.
Yeah.
He wants to be seen. Yeah, but see. So see it. That will help him relax. At least somebody sees his reality, so he's not all alone. You don't have to agree with his reality to see his reality. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels calmer. It's just that he, every time, it's like he's forcing it on me. Like,
Yeah.
he wants me to agree. And
yeah, but deeper than wanting you to agree, he just wants to be understood.
yeah. But it just says like, but don't you see it's falling apart? Don't you see? It's like he wants me to confirm that it's true.
Yes. You see some opening here. To at least be in some kind of exchange for a bit.
Yeah, I've been trying just to be with him as well, just give him a hug, and then he just say,
Yeah.
oh, I know that you want that to help, but it doesn't, and I'm sorry, I'm walking away from you, but I can't talk about it. And it's like,
Then you say, that's okay.
yeah. But I don't know if I'm not
don't
doing anything.
Don't take it personally.
It's just, shouldn't I hug him at all, or should I just, I don't know.
Hug him if you feel like hugging him.
Yeah, but then he gets panic. He wants to go there away from me.
If he doesn't want a hug, don't hug him. Let's just try something. We're not going to be able to go through, this is a big topic, okay? There's many things. But the main challenge is you're making yourself too important.
Yeah. I agree.
So let's try one thing, okay? Look at your father. Just look at him from some distance. And say to him, I can't help you, I'm just a child. Don't cry. Just look at him and say it without crying if you can. Because it's the truth. I see you're in pain and I can't help you because I'm just a child.
I see that you're in pain. but I can't help you because I'm just a child.
But I'm here.
But I'm here.
That's what I can do.
That's what I can do.
And then feel yourself. How is that?
It's one part fighting, one part relaxing.
Yeah, the fighting part is the kind of making yourself too important part. You know, when we want to save people, we're making ourselves too important. It's not just father, it's your clients, your friends, people on the street, poor people in Africa. When we want to save people, we are making ourselves too important. It's a kind of mistaken identity. We are not so big and important. So can you accept that?
It feels a little bit easier.
Yeah. And this started in early childhood when we made ourselves too important, and it's called blind love. We want so much to rescue our parents, but it's not our job. A 3-year-old is not supposed to rescue the parents. It's a misunderstanding. But it comes from love, but it's blind. So we have to let it go, make it conscious. It's the impulse comes from the right place, but it's distorted into a savior complex. How is your body now?
Some parts are calm and some parts are shaking.
Yeah. So just feel all of it. See if you can include all of it. Can you include all of it?
Yeah.
And then feel infinite space. The body is located in infinite space, just like we did in the last session. All these energies are in infinite space. How is that? How is that?
It feels like more space and more like energy.
Yeah, more space, more energy. It's good to remember to include space. This is a big place, universe. We belong to the whole of infinite space. How is it to connect with me from this place?
Just calmer, more grounded.
I think I'll leave you here with this for now. Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you want to hear how it was for the others? Thank you. And good luck with everything.
Yeah, I'll need it.
Yes. So let's see if you can share on the chat, what did you get out of this journey, witnessing it? Robert, deeply healing and transformational. So powerful, so touching. Thank you a lot for your trust, Elinor. That's Maria. Empathy level 1 million. That's a lot. Eileen. Lennart, beautiful to see how Elinor relaxed and became grounded. Anybody else? Educational and inspiring, Antonia. Beautiful, moving and painful, powerful. Smiling, simple. To respect someone is to respect their own journey, Helena. Empowering. Emil, I've been there with my father. It's so good to learn not to be too important. Toril, deeply recognizing and moving to take care of the little girl. Hard work. I could relate to the topic. Very touching, very good lesson. Revealing, the savior in me is very challenged. Moment. Elinor showed up to what showed up. Beautiful to see, Simone. How is it to hear this feedback?
It's beautiful.
Elinor? It's nice, huh? Yeah. So your journey was valuable for the others also. Laura, thank you so much. There was so much for me there. And this desire to save and fix people, it's so strong. I really feel it too, Laura. So you're not alone, huh? It's a human predicament. Love and transformation, Isa. I have it. Everybody has it, especially coaches and therapists have it. You know, people who are interested in being a coach and therapist like us, we have it. We have to realize it. It's not wrong, but it's good to really be aware of this. It comes from a beautiful place, but we have to explore it.
Maybe it's good to experience the hardcore version.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'll do it. I do it other times as well, but it's not so clear as here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot from this challenge.
Yeah.
Life is a school and life is a gym. The more strong you are, the heavier weights you have to lift.
Yeah, thank you. I can take a break now, please.
Yeah. Well, take a break. That's also a good idea. Take a break. Give yourself a little holiday.
Yeah. Maybe. Thank you so much, everyone.
So I know there's many out there who want sessions now. It normally increases toward the end when we don't have time. But we still have time. It's a long meeting. But before we do another session, I just want to have questions and comments. Does anybody have a question about my role as the coach here? You can unmute yourself and ask verbally. That's nice. If you want, if there's any question. What did you notice, or is there anything you would like to ask me about why I did what I did, or anything about my role? So we can learn a little bit. I just follow my intuition. I don't follow a system exactly. So sometimes I don't know why I do what I do. I have to think about it afterwards. Good night, Emil. Be well. Any questions out there? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Kåre, you offered a lot of advice.
I broke my own rule many times, huh? You've been to my training. You know I say don't give advice. And yet I was giving all kinds of advice. So I have this rule, don't give advice. But I have another rule, don't follow any rules.
Thank you.
But you know, sometimes the coaching is a bit more like a dialogue. So you can see it as advice. Generally, when I give a suggestion, which sounds like an advice, then I follow up with asking, what happens in you when you hear that? Or how does that land in you?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I noticed, yeah.
So it's more like a little truth. Personally, I don't see it so much as advice, even though it may look like it. I don't think the other person feels it like advice. We can ask Eleanor after, but I don't think so, because it's like when we're connected, I'm speaking to the knowing of the other person. The other person knows what I'm saying already. I'm saying a truth. It's like, don't forget to breathe. Is that advice? No, it's a reminder of what the other person knows they have to breathe, you know. I could say it differently. It depends on the trust in the meeting. I could say, are you breathing? Often I say like this, are you breathing? And then they start breathing. That's not advice, it's a question. But the effect is the same. Sometimes keep it simple. Breathe. Remember to breathe. You know, because I know Eleanor from before, so I know that she's okay with me saying that. She doesn't feel I'm playing daddy, I think, when I say that. And then I present some principles which are spiritual truths, as I see it, more like spiritual law. So I present the truth and I ask, so how is that for you? Is there a specific advice that you think of, Nonette?
About the psychiatrist, you know, that was in the conversation. I was thinking.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's true. This was a suggestion. So I make a suggestion, then it's not coaching exactly. It's a bit of a mentoring, but it comes with the energy. Have you thought about that? How would that be for you? So it comes with a question. How about that? Would that make sense? And I'm not attached to my suggestion. It's just like I feel there's a specific knowledge I have which might be helpful here or not. And I just want to put it into the space. But I also say, I don't really know if it's going to be helpful. But I just want, have you considered it, you know? I don't want to be too dogmatic about my own rules, about not suggesting things. Have a dialogue. Sometimes it's more like friends. Like, have you thought about that? How is that? That could be a possibility. So I feel I'm very much not attached, and I'm curious about how this idea lands, and I'm ready to let go, and I would not try to convince. If I go into convincing, that's an attachment, then I take the daddy role. So let's ask Eleanor, because normally the truth of the matter lies in the client, how they feel. Do they feel like I'm playing daddy, or do they feel we have an equal exchange? Let's ask Eleanor. Eleanor, I did give a lot of input. How was that for you? Are you willing to share that?
Yeah, it felt more like a discussion,
Yeah.
like suggestions, and I felt like I could say no.
Yes, that's the thing. Because I felt like that. This is a discussion. We're equals. I'm not putting myself above you as the expert. I feel we're having an interesting discussion. That's how it feels in me, and it's interesting that then it feels like that in you too. So that's good feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, this is important because really the other person is the one who can say if it's pushy advice or not. If the other person feels annoyed, feels lesser, feels like, oh, I'm getting a lot of unwanted advice, it closes the space. But if it's a dialogue and I include myself, I'm simply a friend, but I'm not trying to save her. I'm just like, how about that? You know, have you thought about that? Because I've had some friends who had paranoia, and this was my experience. Sometimes it's helpful to bring in that. Coaching is a playful arena, everything goes, but it depends on the other person.
Thank you.
I have a definition of right and wrong, which is like this. Right is what works and wrong is what doesn't work. So you only know after. Sometimes you see this doesn't work. The other person just gets annoyed. I'm giving advice, so then it doesn't work. So the client is the one to decide here. Any other question before we continue with the session?
I can just share something about advice, a personal experience. When I gave a lot, well, not a lot, but I gave advice to a client, and she was a bit annoyed and said that I don't want it like this. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And it hurt a bit, or it was like, oh shit. But I just left it. And then in the end, when we had the 10 session, she said that the thing that made her relax the most was that she was able to say no. And I was fine. That was like she was really calming down. And that was nice for me to hear.
Yes. This is the thing we have to learn as a coach or a therapist, to be unattached to our intervention. Because as a coach or a therapist, we're doing interventions. A question is an intervention, suggestion is an intervention, a guidance, you know. What we need to learn is this, okay, we try something else. Then it can be beneficial. The client got to be angry with us or say no, and we say, okay. It's when we are attached and start to defend ourselves or push our point, that's when we get in trouble. And this is tricky too, because sometimes I get pushy, but I'm not attached. Inside myself, I'm not attached, but I can still seem a little bit pushy. It's an energy that we learn to dance. Okay, so.
Kåre, this is Chip. I have one quick comment, observation.
I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, one quick comment, observation on the specifics.
Still very hard to hear you. Can you speak closer to the mic?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Am I coming
Okay,
across? Yeah, I think what we saw was very powerful was what I sensed in your intervention, Kåre, based on your years of experience, that you could see that her dad isn't getting the kind of medical help, maybe even harmful, from what information was coming forth. And I imagine some how you felt when this was happening. That you felt some sort of obligation, if not a certain urgency, to convey that, saying this doesn't sound like a good situation. And you did it so carefully, but I'm pretty sure most of us saw that he's not getting the help that he needs. And
Well,
then,
I'm not concluding that, but it's worth investigating.
right.
Yeah, it's true. I get your point. I feel sometimes it's very helpful to encourage some specific action. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see now. We have some other topics here. I'm checking out the topics. Okay, Gregor, thank you for today. Okay, Maria, you had a topic to speak honestly, expressing your needs. Do you want to look at that?
Yes.
Hello, Maria.
Hey.
Where are you sitting?
In Ängsbacka.
At Ängsbacka. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon then, maybe.
Yes.
I'm coming in a few days.
Yeah, I'm coming to the Zen Coaching module.
Great, great. So tell me, what's the challenge, problem?
Yeah, it's very present that I'm struggling, or that I feel like when I'm trying to express my needs, and especially when it comes to saying no, that it's hard sometimes to say it directly. And I feel like I'm taking kind of detours to come to the point, and it's hard for me to say it in that moment. And yeah, I want to say it, but I feel like I could reject someone, or I could hurt someone, and I rather would hurt me instead of the other person.
Yeah. So I'm sure everybody can recognize this topic. This is one of those topics that we all have to struggle with to some degree, or most of us. It's a universal thing. How is it when I say that?
Something in me is a release, and something in me is like, yeah, and I know, but
Yeah.
feels like, yeah, stuck.
Yeah. You know, most of our challenges in life come from the first 3 years of life. That's when our whole mind structure was formed. That's when we were born as social beings. We were conditioned, we were taught how to be a human being, and we had to learn how to deal with 1,000 things, 1 million things. And if you look at human development during those 3 years, it's very useful to see the basic things a human being has to go through. Basically 2 things. The first thing is to be completely surrendered in trust to mother, so that I can melt and merge with mother. Yeah, this is the first stage, a baby, right? But we can't stay like that, like a merged blob with mama, because then we will not be individuals. So there's a developmental, evolutionary program in us to separate from mother, to become an individual. So what does it mean? It means to say no. No to mother. No to other people deciding. So we have the no phase. It's around the age of 2. From 1.5 to 3 years, in that age, saying no is very important. No means I say yes to myself. I say yes to my individuality. I separate. Now, this process never went perfectly. So there's, for all of us, some disturbance, both in the merging and in the separation, individuation. So there's a child in you, maybe 2, 3 years old, who had some big challenges in that period for some reason. And it's still alive in you in some way. Does that resonate? That's way of looking at it?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to remember that to say no means to say yes to yourself.
Yeah, and I feel this is, yeah, it's sometimes hard. Yeah.
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 Can you give me an example when it's difficult to say no?
I feel like it's, especially when I'm interacting with men, I feel like the closer it gets, the harder it is to say no. So like the closer the body contact gets, the harder it is to say no. So it's basically hard to say, to see that there is maybe just the need to be held, and to say no to intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were a child, 2, 3 years old, do you feel your boundaries were respected?
No. They were not respected.
Yeah. So that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So feel the child within, 2 years, 3 years. Just say hello to this young girl in you and say, I see you. Can you?
Yeah.
How is that for you, and how is that for her?
It feels supporting, but it also feels like kind of, I'm not quite sure if you really mean it like this.
Yeah. So tell her, that little girl inside, it's hard for you to trust I'm really here.
It's hard for you to really trust that I am here.
I understand that.
I understand that.
But I'm really here now.
But I'm really here now.
How is that for her?
Yeah, it feels warm and, yeah, holding.
Yeah, so now she felt seen, the girl inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So continue sensing her inside. How is your body now?
I feel some tension in my chest and throat.
Yeah. So can you allow those feelings of tension to be there? Give some space for that tension.
Yeah.
Just stay with it and see where it takes you.
Yeah, it's like there's this memory coming up, which came up a few months ago, and I thought that I went through that, and I kind of thought that I dealt with that, or that I looked at it, and it feels like it's still there. And
Yeah, so just honor that the memory is there. And continue sensing your chest and throat. What's happening now?
it's opening a little bit.
Where is it opening?
My heart.
In your heart. Something is opening in the heart.
I also feel some tension in my stomach and some contraction.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Instead of saying but, try to say and. And I also feel.
And I also feel some contraction in my stomach.
Did that feel different to say and?
Yeah.
It's more friendly. The but is a bit of an attack. So you include the new feelings. Just include that in your space. These feelings, feeling it is healing it. Just embracing, noticing. It's a journey. Is there something interesting about this?
About noticing, or
Yeah, about noticing these sensations.
yeah, it's also more acceptance of myself.
Yeah, I see a smile on your face. So notice the self-acceptance. What's happening in your belly right now?
Yeah, it gets more relaxed and released.
Relaxed and released in the belly. See, the belly center is what we need to say no also.
Mm.
The belly center is the ground, gives us stability. We become more grounded. So now the belly is relaxing a bit. How is that for you?
It's and it's kind of new. It's
Kind of new.
Yeah.
And makes you happy.
Yeah. It makes me happy to realize that.
Yeah.
That's possible.
It's possible. Do you have people close to you who are respectful about boundaries now?
Yeah.
So just remember that it's different now. You actually have people who respect boundaries close to you. How is that to see that?
That makes me happy.
Yes, life is different. You know, what we didn't learn at the age of 2, we can learn now. It's not too late. And then it's very helpful to choose somebody who's different from what we experienced back then. To practice boundaries with somebody who's actually respectful of boundaries. You tell the person, I want to practice boundaries. Are you willing to be my practice partner?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm doing right now. Yeah, it's good.
How do you feel now?
Yeah, it makes me super happy.
Yeah, I can see that. You're doing the right thing. It's a practice. This is something we needed to learn early, but if we had an environment which was not really respectful of boundaries, we couldn't learn it. It's impossible for a 2-year-old to learn it without some good examples.
Yeah.
But it's not too late. We learn it now. But we have to choose the right practice partners if we have this challenge, or else we'll just re-traumatize the child.
Yes.
So that's very good news that you have somebody like that and can practice.
Yeah.
How does your belly, heart, how does your body feel now?
Yeah, I feel super light. And
Super light.
yeah.
So this is not a quick fix, it's actually a practice.
Mm.
But you're happy about it. You're on the right path, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like what you said about it's not too late. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a release. It's like yeah, it's not too late, and
Not too late.
we never stop learning, and that's good to know and to remember.
You know, there's a lot of stuff happening in the Tantra world where people haven't practiced that properly, because most of us, we haven't learned it properly. And then people jump into all kinds of Tantra workshops without learning the basics first. And then they re-traumatize and get shocked. And so that's a very important part of that journey. If we want to go, you know, into that direction, it's so important to, and especially if we're super sensitive in this area, to really not overstep too fast. You know? That's not healing. That's not healing.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
It sounds like this is a good place to end for now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you want to hear how it was for the others?
Yeah, sure.
So let's see some feedback. What did you get out of this meeting? Lennart, wow, what a transformation. Thank you so much for sharing, Elinor. Robert, elucidating and inspirational. Ship could feel the natural flow. The journey back to listening to the heart's wisdom, Lulu. No, Victor, with a smile. Antonio, sweet, sensitive, and clarifying. I can feel the lightness and grounding, Elinor. Hanna, very touching, feeling my belly awake. Roy, touching, I feel relaxed and open now, thank you. Kati, I feel joy. Tatiana, thank you, it's never too late to learn, very inspiring. Lovisa, I connected with my 2-year-old. Yeah, we all take part in the healing when we are connected with somebody who goes through something. Helena, to say no is to say yes to myself.
Yeah.
How is it to hear this feedback, Maria?
Yeah, it's touching, and yeah, it's yeah, it feels good to see that there are more people who are going through that, and to be not alone.
Yeah.
And also for me, it's also, it feels like to see that there are more people also, working with that is also so transformational and transforming for the whole field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Truly resonating, many parallels. Thank you, Nonette. Your no is a gift to me, Isa. Very moving to witness. Great to think of asking trusted people to be partners with us in these practices, Laura. In my opinion, our intimate partner should always be a partner in this practice. We should always make our intimate partner a practice partner on this topic, and we can have very good dialogues around this instead of conflicts, which people tend to have on this topic. If we make each other partners on learning this, because what people do is they fight. So why not make your partner a true partner on this topic? I say, if I'm intimate, if I have an intimate partner, new intimate partner, I say that. Please, please don't say yes if you mean no, and please let's don't ever do anything you don't want to do, and let's be open and communicate and let's explore. I try to say that early. Toril, thank you. Moving and thinking a bit about me as 2-3 years old and my own children who are now young adults to say no. See, one thing that happens with most of us, or many of us, is that we didn't learn properly to say no. We weren't respected, our boundaries were not honored properly. So we're still saying no. We may be 50 years old and we're still playing a rebellious 3-year-old. We never grew beyond that. Our whole life is just a big 3-year-old rebellion. Unless we heal this pattern, we're living this eternal rebellion against some shadow from childhood. So I think most of us, we do this to some degree, at least I am recognizing myself. I've been exploring it lately, actually, to see how much I'm just rebelling. I'm just a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 8-year-old rebelling. This is not freedom. This is a stage. Unless we grow beyond this stage, we are just 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds. And the 3-year-old and 5-year-old is beautiful. However, we need to be the parent for that and not be completely run by that if we want to learn to be truly free. Or we are stuck in saying yes, we can't say no. We always say yes until we burn out and crash. So this is why I say this is the two of the biggest things to learn in life. Learn to say yes when we really want to say yes and not say no just because we're the eternal rebel. And to learn to say no instead of being the pleaser. Any questions or comments? Antonio, question. Can you do it? Let's see. Question. A friend of mine shared the story of him needing space in his relationship in the past and now realizing he was simply acting out his pain. My question is, how do we discern egoic resistance from an inner yes? That's a big question. You know? Space. But it's a big learning, you know, to explore the inner rebel and to explore the inner pleaser. Unless we explore these two polarities within, we will be in some kind of egoic game, push-pull. Oh, give me space, give me space. Oh, I want you, I need you, I need you. Oh, give me space. We have this push-pull, push-pull. So there is in the center of us, in the nectar, in the center of the coconut, we are space. We don't need space, we are space. When we are centered in our inner nectar's place, I don't feel threatened by demand. So if you say to me, Kåre, you must spend the weekend with me because we are together and you must spend time with me. If we don't spend time with me, you're a bad boyfriend. So it's a command, it's a demand. If I'm centered in myself, this is not a threat. It's like, I hear you. It's very, very strong wish in you that we spend time together. I hear you. This demand is not a threat because I'm a grown-up. I'm an adult. I don't respond to demands, so they are not a threat. Only for a child is it a threat, because if I don't do as daddy says or mommy says, they can punish me. And I'm too small to defend myself. But I'm not this child. So the answer to your question, Antonio, is a big work we need to do to find the center and the true yes and the true no, which is not a reaction, which is a response. That's a whole relationship workshop. I just had a 5-day workshop on this topic, actually. So I don't think I'll try to summarize that now. We have only 10 minutes. I'd like to have a dialogue. Somebody wants to ask me something, which is not a session, more a little dialogue about healing, deep healing. What is deep healing? Any questions you have about the topic of deep healing and transformation? I'd like to have a little dialogue. If anybody.
Yes, I have a question. And
Hi, Robert.
yeah, hi. Hi, Kåre. I have a question about healing. And to me, it seems like sometimes for myself, when I close down in a way so as to block things and pretending to be strong, then there is a suffering in you, and I don't always recognize that because, well, I've not before been so much aware of my body. So so the suffering is there, only that I cannot recognize it in a way. So it could be like feeling bored or restless or a lot of things like that. So, and for me, the healing comes when I can see the pain. So for me, it's connected in this way. So when I can, in a way, uncover the pain, then the healing can start.
Yes, I agree.
So it's, I'm not trying to lecture here, but just wanted to, if you'd like to reflect on that, because I mean, for me, if I'm circling around it and just feel the blocking, it's not going to take me there. And of course, I need the trust in the coach to open up myself, so in order to feel the pain. So that's my, what is the question here?
Well, I can comment on it. Yeah. You know, the teaching of the Buddha, the first noble truth, often it's stated like this: life is suffering. Why is that the first noble truth? Why is that like such a central position? It sounds quite pessimistic. The way I understand it is, unless we recognize that our normal way of living has suffering in it, then how can we have any liberation? So there is a lot of unnoticed suffering in the world. as you say, people are suffering, but they don't know they are suffering. If we take our coconut example, it means they are identified with a layer. So let's say you're identified with the hardest layer of the coconut. That's a very protected place, you know, it's very tough. Have you seen people opening a coconut? You need a big machete, very sharp. And, you know, skilled people, they can do it. But so if you're identified with this hard part, and that is who you take yourself to be, you feel quite protected and safe. And you're quite tough in the world, you know, you're not so sensitive. If people judge you, you don't feel anything. If people love you, you don't feel much either.
Yeah.
You're fine. And maybe you're even successful and make a lot of money, and you have a good image in society. So people even respect you, and you drive a nice car and you have a nice house. You're successful. So you have a self-image of being a happy, successful person. So you have happiness. But this happiness is very superficial happiness. And it's only when this whole package cracks that you discover that your life was actually full of suffering and you thought you were happy. But this whole thing was a show. Now, somebody who lives like that and doesn't recognize their suffering will not be interested in any coaching, or, you know, if somebody comes and says, the first noble truth, life is suffering, they say, yeah, that's a pretty boring religion. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. Basically, this unnoticed suffering there's nothing to do about it. Normally what happens is it's not sustainable. Suddenly the wife leaves you and you don't understand, why did she leave me? I thought we were a happy family. But she leaves you, and the man, often it's the man, it's like completely confused. We were happy, everything was perfect, and she says it's miserable, and she's been miserable for the last 8 years. And she's tried to tell me, and I never heard it.
Yeah.
You know, this happens a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
not only the wife. Yeah. Not only the wife sometimes. Not people close to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's called a crisis. And this is necessary often to go deeper. So I agree with you. Now, I never try to help anybody who doesn't want help, because you can do nothing. So that's why crisis, if somebody like that comes to me, I'm happy for them. I don't tell them I'm happy for them, but I know they needed a crisis. Life gave them a crisis. Now they gave them me to support them, to see the possibility in the crisis. So we actually want, in the beginning of healing, I want to put people into the pain, not out of it.
Yeah.
And actually, in the coaching with Elinor here, I pushed her into more pain. Pushed. I said, you're helpless. And it was very painful for her to have me say that. But I insisted. In a way, I pushed her into that pain, because it is a pain to be helpless. But this pain is very, very important to meet. If we don't meet the pain of helplessness, we will not go deeper. So I agree with you, but we cannot convince anybody about this. We have to wait for them to have a crisis, or we have to give them a crisis by leaving them or something.
Yeah, or maybe a skillful coach can actually see the pain in you and make you aware of it, I guess.
Yes. A person who sees you in a certain way that cracks you open.
Yeah.
That can happen. That's a lucky moment.
Indeed.
But this person can only do that if she is without any agenda to do that. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. Thank you.
We have a couple of more minutes. I'd like to hear from maybe one of you, two of you. How was the whole meeting for you? Maybe somebody who didn't speak yet. It's nice to see more people speaking. Just a couple of sentences. How was this meeting for you? I'm sorry I couldn't coach everybody who wanted, but that's how it is.
Hello, Kåre.
Let's see who is speaking. There you are. Hi.
Hi. I appreciated first being reminded, or this with the male energy, the male supporting energy, that it actually can be the need for male energy.
Yes.
And that's okay. And then I
I
got in
like
touch.
male and I happen to like male energy.
Yeah. Yeah, but because I've noticed this, but I haven't really. I've noticed my need for it, but I haven't really thought it was okay. It felt strange.
Yeah.
That
You
I
can say,
appreciate.
yeah.
That I appreciate male support more.
Well, it's different qualities. You know, a woman can give male support and a man can give feminine support. But basically the male support, masculine energy is a belly quality, solidity. It's a solid kind of energy. And the feminine energy is more a compassionate kind of energy.
Yeah.
But both are needed actually in a healing journey.
Yeah.
So as a coach, I have to have access to both energies.
Yeah, but it's a solid, it really resonates within me.
Yes.
So I appreciate to understand that, and that it's okay, because I've been a bit confused. Is it something sexual because it's male? But it's not.
No.
And it's not really a daddy thing either. It's more like a mentor thing, I think.
Yeah.
Mentoring. And it's this solidness and support and strength, maybe.
You know, depending on where we are in our growth journey, we need one or the other of these energies more. So right now you need more that solid kind of, that's the most helpful now, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I also got in touch with my 2 or 3-year-old with this, that where then the boundaries weren't met, or the respect for boundaries.
Yes.
And I know we discussed it last January, but now it was clearer to me. I haven't realized it before, but I really felt this, like I was this 2 or 3-year-old that wasn't respected my boundaries. So I appreciate to get in contact with that, and it was like this 2 or 3-year-old just crawled up in my lap and just merged with me.
Wonderful.
It was really nice. So thank you a lot.
Thank you. Anybody else? How was these 3 hours for you? Doesn't have to be a big sharing, just a sentence or two.
I can say that for me it was great to see how you work with your intuition. I mean, you use so different coaching with the different persons. I mean, with the one you were more like not giving advice but checking if that check, and with the other you gave a lot of space. You let the person feel, and it was really for me it was like a reminder of how this intuition works, and so I really liked that. Thank you, and I felt very connected.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was it for today, and I haven't decided the date for next meeting. I'll send a recording. We have this Relaxing into Being Club, we call it. And I'm so happy we're actually a club, so we get to meet again, the same group, and it's growing gradually. And please tell your friends about it. I would be very happy to see this club growing. It's a great opportunity to connect with Zen Coaching from wherever you are in a safe, simple way. And yeah, so why don't everybody unmute yourself and we can have a big sound party. A goodbye party.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
I don't want to leave. But bye-bye.
Thank you, Kåre.
The next time.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.